spice cards in his Blue Moon deck. He's got Commit to Memory, Rouse Eric, and Psionic Blast.
I can get behind some Rouse Eric and Psionic Blast. Mostly around some Rouse Eric. So
Commit to Memory is a real good 10 mana shuffle draw, you know? Those are sweet spells. And then we got Curtis playing Old Faithful, Grixis Shadow.
The boogeyman in the format that everyone's terrified of right now.
Yeah. And the whole new set coming out gives it another card to add to the flame.
What's that one called?
I was making a pun. It's Claim to Fame.
Boy.
Never mind.
Yep.
I was hoping you'd pick up on it.
I literally could not remember the name of the card.
But yeah, it's Claim to Fame. 1 black mana. Return target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then you have Flame, which is 1 red. Give target creature +2/+0 and haste, which is pretty sweet because you can give your Death Shadows haste, and you give your Gurmag Anglers haste, and get the beats going. Super sweet card. My pick for the best card in the set.
Alright.
They're drawing their opening 7. It's so hard to always try to find out and see what the cards and the players' hands are.
I know, I really wish...
It's easily a Chandra, though.
Yes. And I think a Cryptic Command. I really wish, though, here, maybe in the future we could get a player cam and actually see over the shoulder.
The over the shoulder cam? That'd be so
cool.
cool.
Like the Pro Tour over the shoulder,
We'd be making it then. That's when you know you've made it, is when you have an over the shoulder cam.
Alright. If you're ready, Noah, we'll give the players, let them know they're good to play, too.
Yeah.
That.
Efficient.
Yep.
Very efficient. So we got a Street Wraith.
Go ahead and get the timer up for them. There we go. Timer's up. 50 minutes. Let's see. Curtis. We saw Street Wraith. I didn't get to look at his hand too well.
I didn't either. I assume he has Oh, he's aware. I guess he's aware of what Ryan's playing as he's fetching this island out on turn 1. So smart moves there. Ryan, I'm sure Ryan and him had a conversation about beforehand, and they probably just didn't know they were being paired up against each other. And it just so happens that Curtis now knows, and he's like, I gotta play around the Blood Moon the whole game, and he's going to do so. Try his best to do so.
I mean, anybody who plays here frequently knows Ryan Wolfe usually plays a Blood Moon deck.
True.
So I feel like it's always just safe to fetch basics against Ryan Wolfe.
It's either he's playing a prison list or something. There's always 4 copies of Blood Moon somewhere in there.
I feel bad. I really hope they don't get paired, because I lent Kazu tonight 5-color Death Shadow. Yeah. No basics in the main board.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be terrific.
1 forest in the sideboard.
Have fun casting spells.
Because I was like, eh. And then even sideboard, I trimmed the Seal of Primordium.
Oh, nice.
To play Nihil Spellbomb, because there've been a lot of Death Shadows here. So, Nihil Spellbomb in general has just been a better card.
Oh,
except for if he gets paired against Blue Moon.
That would be the actual best. I hope that happens.
If it happens, I'll make sure that's the match on camera.
It'll be hilarious. He's like, yeah, I just have 4 main decks cards that just actually say you lose the game written on them. It's fantastic. Well, Ryan doesn't have a basic island in play.
We got a cycle of a Street Wraith from Curtis. And so it should be, was it 17 all?
He's being real careful with that Bloodstained Mire.
Inquisition. Let's see.
He's hoping to hit 1 card and 1 card only.
Does it? Let's see. What could it do? What does it turn all your lands into mountains?
I believe that's the card he's hoping to grab here.
That's not the card he's gonna grab here.
And we see some of the spice. We see Rouse Eric, Commit to Memory, Chandra,
What's the card now? Is it Charm? It looks like.
Is it Charm, Mana Leak, and a Lightning Bolt?
Okay.
It's the
You can take. Isn't Ralzeric? No, Ralzeric's 4 mana. Otherwise,
it's the gift box. Is it Charm? F&M promo. Is it Charm 1 or 2? I forgot that the Sultai Charm was the gift box promo.
From. Let's see. The Bolt is a Charm or the Mana Leak.
What do you take here?
Is it Charm only counters what? Non-creature?
Non-creatures unless they pay 2. It has Faithless Looting, and then it deals 2.
2 to a creature.
Yeah.
So I don't think the dealing a 2 is that enough of a deal. I honestly think if you're Curtis, you're probably just gonna take Mana Leak.
I think Curtis just said, "Hey, what's Ralzeric do?" And then he turned the card around for him to read it. Which you can't blame him. Ralzeric was a super sweet card.
I don't even remember what Ralzeric does. He taps or untaps, or taps or untaps something. Untaps something and taps something.
His +1, he taps something and untaps something. His minus is Lightning Helix, and his ultimate is Fiesta Time. And you
flip a coin 5 times.
Yeah,
and you take an extra turn for each time it head.
Yeah, Fiesta. It's great. But yeah,
I hope Brian Wolfe came with a coin. If he didn't. I
think I'd take Mana Leak.
I think I'd take Mana Leak here as well.
Plus, it's like the sweet artwork in Mana Leak, and you feel less cool if you don't have that sweet artwork in Mana Leak in your hand. So it gets a psychological factor too.
Give me a sec. We're getting out a coin so that if Ralzeric ultimates, I will run down with this coin.
The excitement's real. Oh man, this is fantastic.
You know,
I used to go to our school store in middle school and use Sacagawea coins to buy stuff, and like the kids always thought I was handing them fake money. True story.
Kids these days. What did he end up? He took the Bolt.
Huh. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, to be fair, I've played a total of like maybe 2 games with a Death Shadow deck. And it was when it was Jund, so I was more of along the lines of the guy who was trying to play like the Bant Eldrazi's at that point in time.
Is that curse at 13 or 15? We have a Street Wraith, a Fetch for a basic, and then a Street Wraith, which would put him down to 17, and then a Shock to put him to 15.
Yeah, he definitely played that Blood Crypt on turn 3, so.
Brian drew an Ancestral Visions for turn.
Yeah, because he had played that and tapped it for the Inquisition.
Let's see, Curtis finally got Fetch. I feel like he wants to get a basic, but I know he has the Death Shadow in hand, so he also wants to get his life total out, but just going to get the basic.
Respecting the Blood Moon.
But one thing I love with Curtis, though, his lands never make any sense.
What do you mean?
I mean, mine don't either, but like we have a regular non-foil basic island, and then an Amonkhet full art foil swamp.
To be fair, I think I can explain that because me and him were playing about a week ago, and we were playtesting it, and he just had no islands, and he said, "I'm going to proxy an island real quick."
And then you went and got him just a basic island.
I didn't get it for him, but I said, "Why don't you just grab one of the basic islands?" He's like, "Makes sense." So I think that's what that is, because it's if I recall, that's the RTR cycle of islands. But the more you know.
I mean, whenever I play something like, if I'm going to a big event, I go with the most tilting mana base I can.
Oh yeah,
I make sure all my lands are foil, but none of them are matching arts, borders, anything. Like if I'm playing 3 different forests, you better believe I have like an Onslaught foil, a full art foil, and then like the modern regular size, like the regular border foil.
I dig it. My favorite thing I ever did in a Magic event was I played in a regionals, and I played a $12 mono red deck, and I made sure every card was foreign because I knew my opponents wouldn't know what the cards were. And every time I sat down, like there were like probably like maybe 4 judge calls a game just to figure out what a card was. Like I was casting Goblin Heel Cutters before anybody, man. I really was.
Really ahead of the curve there now.
Yeah. I was dashing them out there.
Alright, let's see what we... Curtis, Snapcaster Mage.
You gonna target a Inquisition?
We're Serum Visions. If it resolves.
I think he's in the tank here thinking about it because he knows Ralzeric commit to memory and Chandra is still in his hand.
And I think we're going to see an Izzet Charm to counter it. To counter the Inquisition.
Huh,
Probably. Here's Ryan got the Judge Foil Mountain.
Pretty.
And then a regular, just classic
Hey,
island.
That's a really pretty island.
I mean, it is a pretty island. It's not foil, but
just giving some harsh browns out for these lands. Ancestral Visions takes down a tick.
I mean, we got the Visions. Foil Visions off the non-foil island.
I do like the new Serum Visions. This is my favorite one.
The promo?
No, the
the Modern Masters.
The Modern Masters one.
Yep.
Yeah, like the Phyrexian kind of look to it. I think that looks awesome. Although old artworks are always like more appreciated. I tend to think that artwork is sweet.
I don't really have a preference between that and the old one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have much preference on it. Like, frankly, I'm not a fan of really any of the Serum Vision arts, but I don't like playing blue to begin with.
Oh yeah, that's fair. You're more of a green reddish kind of guy.
Yeah, basically, like the last time I did play blue at the brewing whenever they brewed here for that F&M. Unfortunately, I got put on the camera whenever I got paired against like a Grixis Shadow, and I literally sat down and go, "There's not a single way I can beat you." Which I played Teamer, and like the green was literally splashing it for Cryptolith Right,
Nice.
so that I could play Thermo Alchemists and Blister Coil Weird.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds terrible.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was terrible, but like it was literally just a storm deck that you just could keep untapping those two dudes every time you cast a spell.
That's awesome.
And draw through your deck, and that was it. But if my opponent has a kill spell, I can't win the game. It was fun to play, though.
Good thing kill spells aren't played all too often.
I know.
Good strategy. I like it. Alright, we're gonna see a 3-mana spell, so probably a cold.
Yep, K command. Which will probably, I would imagine it's getting mana leaked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mana-Leak is a good magic card, man. So you gotta do that psychological warfare. You gotta get the sweet artwork out of their hands.
And I think, really, like, Curtis is sitting in a fine place. I don't think Ryan has any main board way to just deal with everything here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan's gonna be here for the blue-red deck to get rid of a continuously growing Death Shadow. Not sure. Like, he might have like Anger of the Gods, but even then.
Alright, Ryan Wolfe, he does play main board Anger frequently, I know that. Looks like they're counting a graveyard for a Angler or a Tassiger.
Ooh, the ultimate punish, the remand of the Delve spell.
I want to see what it looks like. An Angler,
Yeah.
but I can't tell.
That's a Grim Angler. That's a zombie fish, man.
Yep.
I can tell a zombie fish when I see it.
I literally missed it on the board. I didn't even see it put it down. I was still looking at his hand like, what's he doing?
He's already remanded a spell that's not even in play yet?
I feel like, yeah, remanding something like that's just as good as just straight up countering it. Like, he can't play it again unless he, like, Thought Scours and then delves out his entire yard.
So he's going to, Ralzeric.
Tap, Death, 3 damage to Death Shadow,
Helix,
gain
yeah.
3.
That is sweet.
Is it a Helix? I don't know if you gain the life.
It might just be a lightning bolt.
I think it's just
yeah,
a bolt.
no, Johnny is the one that
Yep.
lightning helixes. Ralzeric just bolts.
Yeah, let me just make sure on that.
Silly Zarek.
3 damage to target creature or player. Just the bolt. But, yep, we do have Ralzeric bolting down the Death Shadow, and then The ambush Viper getting in there to take out Ralzeric.
I was about to make a joke about that too. I've seen it so many times where players like they're just like, you know what? I'm gonna play this Snapcaster Mage out there just to deal some damage. And like, it makes sense.
I played against Miracles and Legacy, and I was playing Elves, and he had me top locked out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, until you put, like, I just straight up told him, it was against Sean Carroll, who plays here frequently. I was just like, until you put a threat down, I am not conceding. And then, like, 10 turns later, he finally found a Snapcaster Mage.
Oh, wow.
And he just plays it without snapping anything back. And then I was just like, all right, I'll concede.
My favorite game I think I had ever witnessed was a turns deck where he had no way to win the game, but it was in game 3, and he figured technically it's not a continuous combo, so but he didn't play slow either, so he had Elixir in his deck, so he just kept going through his deck, taking turns, and then elixiring it all back. And he said, I can't win, but you can't win either. And it's not like a combo that like is 100% going to continuously happen. So you can't just say, hey, that's like you're taking advantage here. Like, but he's like
based on your draws, you could eventually just not draw it.
So he's like, I'm just gonna run the clock. And he's like, it made me think of that scene from Doctor Strange where it's like, I can't win, but I can lose again and again and again, and that makes you my prisoner. Like, I just remember dying laughing.
Oh,
That's
man.
hilarious.
The Electrolyze that we just missed. And Electrolyze taking out both Ambush Vipers.
Brutal.
Alright.
Brutal.
We were wondering how Blue Red was going to get out of it. I guess Ralzeric down ticking.
Yeah, Ralzeric, the Spice Master.
Alright, Fish is back. Oh, alright. How is he going to deal with this Fish now?
Don't know.
Wait, doesn't
Commit can put it the second from the top, and I think that's
Yep.
what we're seeing. Oh,
Yep.
I love it! I love it. The spice cards, the cards that he said were spice, are the cards that are helping him grind through this Grixis Shadow match. He's like, yeah, I threw in Ralzeric, and I threw in Commit to Memory, and these are the cards that are actually being like key essential pieces to help him grind his way back into this game. That's amazing. I love it.
Vision's going to draw the Fish again. Scry 2.
He likes one of them. Ryan was hoping he would have a chance to untap and probably be able to interact in some way to counter that Gurmag Angler, but I guess he can't cast it either way. So
The one thing also, we haven't seen a single bolt yet from Curtis.
I know, that's crazy. Ryan's at 6. Like that's a lot. That's a scary life.
Yeah. All right, is this Chandra? Nope. Architect of Thought.
He's gonna Factor Fiction, maybe. No, he's upticking. Sweet.
So takes 1 less damage when he attacks it.
Yeah, all creatures whenever they attack.
Ryan, get
Okay.
-1, -0.
Yep.
I remember that boy from Standard.
He was Hootin' Boys. He was the one. He was great. I love that card. I think that card, like, I don't know if it's probably like played enough, like in Modern, but I like there's certain cards like I love, like pet cards. I'm like, oh man, I wish this saw more play in Modern, and this Jace is one of them.
Like,
Spoiler alert: Vryn's Prodigy is another one. Like, I love those cards.
I know. I mean, one card I love is Nissa Ravane.
I love Nissa too.
I played her in my sideboard for Elves for a little bit, just for against Burn. But it was so hard because you couldn't hit her off of a collecting company. You couldn't Court of Calling for her. And so, like, I can't tell you the number of times I'm like, oh, collecting company. Cool, there goes my Nissa Ravane back to the bottom.
You had the feel bad moments?
Yeah, and, like, the thing was when I got it, I was on a quest to get a Zendikar foil.
Uh-huh.
Because all you can find of them are the Duels of the Planeswalker foils.
Alright.
And there is a difference in the two. If you don't know it, look it up.
I'll have to take a peek real quick because I'm actually curious. What does the memory do from Commit to Memory? Because Curtis read it here a second ago, and I know it. It's like a shuffle and draw effect.
I think so. I think it's.
It might just be the time spiral.
Where's
but
my
I'm not
phone?
sure.
Where be my phone, boy?
Where'd I go?
Memory. Each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library, then draws 7.
Okay, yeah. I figured. I just didn't want to say and not be 100% sure.
Oh, I can't find my phone. Ah.
It was under the keyboard.
Hey. There you are.
So, Scary Fish facing down a Jace. See, I don't know, like, about Blue Moon. Lightning Bolt is just not, like, Lightning Bolt's just not as good as it normally is at this, like, moment in time in Standard, but Cryptic Man's great. but anyway, like I was saying, I just think that, like, I can't get behind the idea of a Blue Moon deck where Lightning Bolt is, like, just not the optimal spell.
The side boob. And then edit
That's why. Okay.
I couldn't say it on cam.
Yeah, I understand now. That makes sense.
That's why I said look it up.
I'm agreeable to that. All right, let's see. Spell Pierce, Chandra, Snap,
Chandra.
Who damn boys? I'm not a good enough Magic player to say, but I guess Snapcast.
Snap definitely
it gives him too many options.
Yeah, it gives him because he now has like access to Snap Cryptic.
Oh
he has
yeah,
enough mana
that's
for
gross. Ooh, Death Shadow.
As a 6/6, sorry we neglected to keep track of that life total. Dumb life totals. Good thing they kept track of it on the table.
Let's see. Ryan might have to FOF. No, he's just passing. What was in his hand? He had Spell Pierce, Chandra,
Yeah.
Land. I don't know if that does it. Maybe he's just hoping he can't. I'm not sure. What's the game plan?
Attack for 5. Snap.
Oh, he drew a Snapcaster. Feels good, man.
Well, we'll see what he does because Curtis has a Fatal Push in hand. Okay, he's gonna snap.
I think he's crypticing. Yeah.
I don't get bouncing it to hand. I guess it makes him play it again.
Yeah, he's just trying to ultimate this here Jace, I think.
I mean, tapping it down does the same thing here too.
Yeah,
or if you snap, or if you tap it before combat. I don't know. Either.
Yeah, make him pay the mana.
Make him cast it again. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, he has to.
I think Jace Ultimate's at 8, and its ultimate is you take a card from your opponent's deck and a card from your deck, and you get to cast those cards
For
without
free.
paying their cast.
Yep.
Yeah. Card was sweet.
I saw a deck, and it was like one of the blue-white control lists or whatever, playing that, and I played a 1 of Emrakul. So they could get that on the ultimate, exile it, cast it for free, get an extra turn. Win.
That's actually really sweet. I remember in Standard a lot of the time it was, let me grab a Jace from my deck to keep doing the loop again, and then like whatever best cards you have.
Yep. One of the other good ones I've seen is this was, and I thought about actually like proxying the deck up to try it one time, and it was at GP Richmond, and it was at like in the last round, and it was at like the guy ended up going undefeated for this side event, and he was playing blue-red Possibility Storm.
I hate that card so much. I hate it.
And for those who don't know what Possibility Storm is, it's got a ton of text, so much Goblin Dark Dwellers, so much text. Casting, targeting commit, casting memory.
No, I don't think can you not do that anymore? With the split, maybe with.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't do that anymore.
Like, I don't think you can do those neat effects anymore. With
That's right, you can't, because now its total converted mana cost is whatever the two are added together.
Yeah, 10.
Which,
Man, how sweet would that be, though? You get Dark Dwellers and then shuffle and, like, just go bananas.
let's see. Looks like he's okay. Ancestral Visions, that's fine too.
That seems fair, actually. Yeah, balanced. Oh man.
All right, so Possibility Storm, cool card. Got a ton of text. If you really don't understand what the text does, it does something pretty simple, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does.
So it's an enchantment for 6 mana that says basically when any player casts a spell, that player exiles that spell and reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a spell with the same type, and then cast that spell without paying its cost.
Yeah.
So the deck played Possibility Storm. He had like all the rituals to play Possibility Storm as early as he could, and then Talaria West to transmute to go get an Endless one.
Okay.
Cast Endless one for 0. The only other creature in his deck was Emrakul. Cast Emrakul, take an extra turn, and have an Emrakul in play.
I love that. I love that idea, and I remember seeing that deck one time, and I'm like, hey man, this deck's playing red. It's playing these ritual effects. Why isn't it playing one Tybalt and one Ugin? Come on, where's it at? It's like, gives you another way to win the game. And to be fair, Tybalt says Insurrection on the card, so Tybalt's sweet.
But like that was one of the sweetest decks I ever saw, and the guy ended up going 4-0 for the side event and got like, I forget what the prize support was for it. It was like 2 or 3 boxes.
That's incredible. That's awesome. I remember seeing the unexpected results Emrakul decks for a while. The 2 green blue Gate Crash rare.
Reveal a shuffle and then reveal the top card.
Yeah, he was like doing like the coin flips for days. Like that's the Fiesta of all Fiesta decks. But I remember that deck won like a big event one time. People were like, "What?" Like, you look at that guy's deck list; it's just shenanigans.
It's kind of like my favorite one for just shenanigans, and I love the story for it too. Was the Elfball Lands Legacy deck? Do you remember that?
No, but I like the sound of Elfball, and I like the sound of.
So, basically, I think the main board was like 79 cards. It's like the entire deck list was like 90-something cards.
So
the whole backstory, I don't know if it's true or not, was that the guy was filling out for a legacy open too. It was a Star City Games legacy like open or classic, and the guy top 8'd it with his deck.
Oh my!
And he was filling out his deck for elves, and then midway through, like he set it aside and decided to started filling it out for lands at the right after, and then never actually got a different deck sheet or anything, and just still left the originals on there. So whenever it came down to it and they checked his deck, they were like, you have to have the what you wrote down. So he's like, okay, and put everything in it and just played this 70-some card monstrosity and ended up making it into the top 8 of this event.
That's incredible. So we had a super sweet interaction there where there was a removal spell, there was a counter spell, and then there was an attack for lethal, and sad faces everywhere. And we're going on to game 2.
Who ended up grabbing that one?
Curtis won that one.
Okay.
It was a Gurmag Angler turning sideways to deal 5
For the
points.
4th time, probably. I don't know how many times he cast that Angler.
Well, Ryan Wolfe's at 50 now, so that's an incredible life total.
Might be. Alright, records. Score 1 for the boys back home.
What's gonna be great is when Ryan and Curtis were like, "That was a great game. Let's go back and watch that." And then they just see us talking about just utter shenanigans while their game's going on.
I mean, yeah. Here it is. Elfball Lance.
Oh my gosh.
27 lands, 35 creatures, 15 instants of sorceries. So 77 card main board.
Oh my. And he
top 8'd a
302 player event. Wow. Sometimes when you roll hot, you roll hot. I like how there's 3 co-op rotation.
4 Glimpse, 4 Greens and Zenith, 4 Natural, 1 Sylvan Library. That's fine.
Elf Ball lands.
Rorick Thar in the main, Regal Force in the main.
I dig it.
Titania.
Pretty.
1 Knight of the Reliquary.
This deck is sick.
Caracas, like, this deck was sweet. I think it was maybe Maverick. It might have been that he was putting together Maverick and Elves at the same time. Because then there's, Wastelands in here. Or maybe he was like, I'm going to go into this event. 77 card, sweet deck. I don't know. But I can get behind it.
Is Dunkle Puck the band P-U-C or P-U-C-K?
P-U-C-K.
I thought so.
Why?
Just curious.
Sorry, Doomsday Jesus. I just noticed. Yes, this is modern.
Welcome to the chat. So they're shuffling up. If you were to be playing modern tonight and you could play anything, what would you play?
Unfortunately, the deck I really want to play won't be like the one card I need for it doesn't come out until next week with Hour of Devastation. Oh yeah, that's right. Tonight is the pre-release.
Yeah.
I work tomorrow morning too, like here.
Ooh, damn boys. But so what is this deck? Does it involve Solemnities?
It involves Run Map or Excavator.
Oh, Excavator. Okay.
The Excavator.
The Crucible Worlds.
Yep. The 3 mana Crucible Worlds on a stick that you can also hit off a Collected Company. You know else you can hit off a Collected Company?
What?
Azusa, Lost but Seeking. You already know where I'm going with this.
I dig it. That's awesome.
And we're gonna Ghost Quarter people.
Oh my, that sounds fantastic.
And that's all I want to do is I'm not normally like playing like Hate Bears and stuff like that, but like as soon as that guy got spoiled, I was like, this seems sweet to be able to like collect a company into this, and you still get like the Hate Bears like Leon and Arbiter. Then you just play like Azusa, this new guy.
I mean, that would be super backbreaking in just a green-white Hate Bears deck where you like cast Collected Company while already having a Ghost Quarter in play, and you get Leon Arbiter and that Excavator. Like you just sack your Ghost Quarter, get their land, play the Ghost Quarter, sack it, get their that'd be brutal.
3 Ghost Quarters a turn.
Oh,
once you get it's set up like, and like against the Shadow decks, they usually only play like 3 basics.
Now, how many like Azuzas would you play? I feel like that card is not as needed as like I think just being able to like have a Ghost Quarter in play and then being able to play it again once you sack it.
Yeah,
like,
so
like
being able to Ghost Quarter every turn.
Yeah.
So I've been figuring probably around 2 or 3.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say
I wouldn't play a full set, and then as far as
what a champion. Ryan had a relic, a Bedlam Reveler, I think was what I saw. Maybe.
And then the other thing is I recently picked it up from Ryan O'Loughlin as a Crucible Worlds.
Oh,
so
sick.
I'll have like 1 Crucible Worlds, probably 3 of the Excavators.
That sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like something I would play. I don't play like the like I get excited when Ryan Wolfe builds a deck and has like a sweet idea because I like the jank of the world. I play like the turns decks. My favorite deck out of recent history is 100% Blue Steel.
Oh my god!
Died laughing.
That deck is sweet.
I died laughing when they put
Blue Steel on the camera at GP Las Vegas,
and
the chat was like, "What is this?"
I was like crying, laughing because I love Zoolander. Like I thought that was hilarious. I couldn't get enough, and I was so excited. And I immediately text my buddy who like casually plays Magic and loves comedies, and one of his favorite movies of all time is Zoolander. And I was like, you have to play Modern now, buddy. Like this is something you have to do.
I'm pretty sure too. Right after, let me go to MTG Goldfish, because literally immediately after that, like any of the cards in that deck spiked in price because he 2-0'd his opponent at the GP.
So we got a turn 1 Ancestral Visions, and then Islands Galore, giving so much respect to Blood Moon. A card that always has some debate on if it should be legal, if it should not.
It's fine.
I'm in the boat that you play around it. If you don't want to lose...
I was going to say, you play around it. It's not hard.
Yeah, just don't... It's really easy not to lose to Blood Moon. I mean, Blood Moon is going to get some decks, and it's going to get some people game 1. But it's effectively not a back-breaking Magic card. I tend to be the kind of player who opposes fast mana more so than
Here
other
it is.
decks.
Here's the GP Las Vegas.
It's spiked from
3. It doubled in price from GP Las Vegas. Or the Grand Architect did.
$2 to $5. Is that what that says?
Yeah, basically from $3 up to $6.
I love it. That's fantastic. But yeah, I've always been a person who really dislikes fast mana, and even though I played Affinity for the longest time, I do not like Mox Opal, and I do not like
Spirit Guide.
I'm not fans of those Magic cards. They lead to lackluster games of Magic.
If I'm doing fast stuff, I'm doing it with my dudes making me mana.
Yeah, like Elves is fine because Elves is interactive and you can really just stop Elves. And I remember when Elves first came out in that tournament, people were like, "This is insane. This is like the new hotness."
My favorite thing with that was and I rarely ever do this. That was probably the first time ever though that you knew, because I told you I'd been working on a sweet Elves list before then. And put together an Elves list, and then...
I still like that. I still would, if I played Elves, would play that list over.
The first list I put together?
Because that was awesome. It had Devoted Druid.
Yep.
And it had...
Azuri Renegade Leader.
Yeah, and it also had Summoner's Pact, and it had, you had a main deck copy of Regal Force.
Yep. And,
it was more of a real, just all-in combo deck, and I loved it. I remember, playing, that deck, proxied or up or whatever, and I had a blast. I was like, this is insane. I remember talking to people from hometown about it. I was like, you guys, this deck is sweet. And then it just happens to be a deck a week later or so.
Yeah, because the big thing whenever I was playing Devoted Druid with it, and the whole reason I found the thing with Devoted Druid is it combos with Azuri, where if you have 2 Devoted Druids in and Azuri out, you can make your entire team infinitely large. As long as you get everything pumped once, you can untap each Devoted Druid 3 times, so make 6 mana, and then activate Azuri with 5 of it, so you end up gaining 1 mana every time, and you get your entire team infinitely large.
Sounds pretty good to me. Sounds like a solid trade-off. We got the Snapcaster Beats. Now, are you a bigger fan of this artwork or the new one? Because I side on I'm not sure if I like...
Snapcaster's another one of those cards I've never had an artwork that I like much. I thought if I had to choose between the two...
I'd pick Mega Man Blaster.
If I have to pick between the two, I'd probably just pick whichever one's cheaper. I don't have a preference in the two. And then there's also, you missed the other artwork.
That one, no, I just don't, I pretend that one doesn't exist, because...
the soccer player?
Cyrax from Mortal Kombat? Yeah, I'm not a fan. He's also, you could either say he's Cyrax or he's, Lucio from
Overwatch. Yep.
He's, that's exactly who that is. It's, just awful. It looks like a red card, and it's on a blue frame, and it just doesn't make sense, and I don't like it.
Oh, so it's Force of Will from Alliances.
Yeah, but the thing is those cards back then, the artwork was always just so sweet, and it kind of works so with Force of Will, and I don't know if it's due to time. You just had so much time with it.
Yeah, and
it definitely
it's a
start.
staple of Legacy.
Yeah.
I refuse to play, but it's a staple of Legacy.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset that Legacy won the 4 Horsemen War.
I am too, actually.
I was like, man.
Don't get me wrong, I love Legacy, but
have y'all drafted? I love drafting. Drafting's fantastic. I assumed it was going to be Modern, actually.
I did too.
From the beginning, I figured Modern was going to win and it was going to crush. But then, I just saw I saw this with Legacy, and I was like, it just surprised me because I was like, I figured Legacy would be defeated by either Draft or
I didn't think draft, but keep in mind, like, we don't have a consistent draft crowd here.
True.
Only like right when a new set comes out, and like especially right now, the like it is. I don't know how it is back at hometown at Huntington. Like here, draft only picks up right when a new set comes out. But then people don't really, everyone who's watching has probably heard, standard sale right now, and that used to be what people drafted for, was to pick up standard cards to be able to play. And now people don't want to play standard, so people don't want these cards after they get them.
Yeah, that's fair. And I also think that what hindered things like sealed and draft's ability to win is, I feel like sealed and drafts should have been like clumped and called limited. And
Okay.
then I feel like it would have had a better chance of rising to the tops and the right. Cause like you could separate cube and limited together, because cube's its own thing.
But I mean, the only other argument then is that, like, what do you call constructed? Like,
oh, sure. I guess. Yeah. Well, listen. I don't like Legacy.
I've noticed. Although,
my first ever experience with Legacy is I fully built Red Black Goblins. It was like Badlands, and it played like one Taiga for some sideboard cards. And I had completely finished Goblins because Dane had convinced me to build the deck. And I built it, and my first ever event was round one. I played against Omnishow, and I got Omnitel, sorry, yeah, and I got crushed. And then round two, I played against Oops All Spells, and I got crushed. And then I played against Charbelcher, and I got crushed. I was like, wow, these are great games of Magic. I'm never playing this again. And then I sold like Aether Vials when they were like $9.
get wrecked.
Feels bad, man.
I got rid of my one Aether Vial. I've only ever owned one, and it was from the first pack of Modern Masters 2013 that I opened, because I opened a Pact of Negation foil Aether Vial.
That is awesome.
And at the time, like, the full Aether Vial was like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And like it got up to like 60, and I traded that and a few other things to get a foil Conflux Noble Hierarch.
Hey, that seems like a decent trade. That card needs to be printed so bad. I mean, it has to be. Like, they're coming out with Iconic Masters and Masters 25. Like, it's going to be in one of them.
I think Crucible of Worlds could very possibly be in those two.
Like, I think all of the like create a card cards are going to be in Iconic, because those are iconic cards. Those are like special cards. Like I also think like the player cards, Metal Mage.
Yeah.
Solemn Simulacrum, Rakdos Augur Mage, Snapcaster Mage.
Did you say Dark Confidant?
Dark Confidant. What's the one green creature? You can. Oh shoot! What is the name of that card? I can't remember.
What does it do?
It's one green. You can sack. I think you sack it or sack something, and it gives hexproof. I think I can't remember. It's all played back in the day. Like people like meddled with it. But yeah, I feel like all those cards are iconic. It's like those cards could come back and like they could do like the original artwork, and that'd be so sweet for iconic masters. Like I feel like there's so many like cool things they could do, but they talked about how iconic is like dragons and like the best dragons, the best
Sarah
angels. Yeah, like
Sarah Angel and Shivan Dragon.
Yeah, but
gonna be in there.
But paying $10 in your rares of Shivan Dragon, I think what would be interesting is if they did like a masterpiece-esque way to handle cards like Sarah Angel and Shivan Dragon, because like there's collectors out there that want like a really fancy Sarah Angel and a really fancy Shivan Dragon. It's just not the majority of people. But if the majority of people buy a product and they open up like a regular Shivan Dragon that's so rare, they're gonna be really disappointed. But if they open up like a masterpiece, like super stylistic, like fancy border Shivan Dragon,
Let's get back to this real quick.
Okay,
Ryan Wolfe casts a Jace Architect of Thought. Curtis Taylor has now cast 2 Stubborn Denials without, Ferocious. Ryan has paid for... Oh, man, I was really hoping he'd follow up with, like, a Spell Pierce and, like, counter. Get out of here.
That'd be awesome. Like, I feel like our conversations are kind of getting a little too bizarre, but, like, at the same time, like, the game's interesting, and I guess we can do a better job of making sure we talk about some of the interaction going on the board.
Just chatting,
having a good old time.
Good old boys.
Talk about Elf Ball Lands a little bit.
Elf Ball Lands. I did commentary with Daniel D'Amato a while ago, and we got on the discussion of playing I don't even remember the card, but it's like triple black, draw 4 cards, you lose half of your life.
Oh, what is that card?
You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about, though.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember the deck. We were gonna play it in Death Shadow for Legacy.
Why? Like, I understand, like, they were talking about how Death Shadow could be sweet in Legacy, and they're like, oh yeah, it could be awesome. I'm like, Swords of the Plowshares would be so backbreaking. But then again, like, the Swords deck was Miracles, but still, like, I don't know if I can get behind that, because, like, that's just, like...
Did you see? I mean, you had to have seen the Legacy portion of GP Lost
Yeah,
Vegas with
absolutely.
Josh Otherlayton.
Josh Otherlayton playing blue-black Death Shadow. Yeah, it was sweet. It was definitely super sweet. So we have a Serum Visions Bolt.
I don't like any of those piles, but I mean, I feel like that's what you have to do.
Yeah, it's awkward when... It was always awkward when you had that in Standard, and you're like there's 2 Azorius Charms and a land, and you're like, I guess you get Azorius Charm and a land. Seems like a sweet mix of cards. You know,
I really am, this is going to be rough because they're getting close to time here. They got 6 minutes left.
Oh, yeah, that's brutal. And, like, I understand, like, not putting both bolts in one pile because you're playing Death Shadow, you're going to get your life total relatively low. There's going to be a chance that those bolts just kill you, and then that's going to suck. And, like, you could have a Snapcaster at some point to snap back 1, 2, and then, like, you're just dead, so... You have to give him as few as you can.
Like, it makes sense that, that's what he has to do, but it's just, it's awkward. It's real awkward to be in.
It's like one of those feel-bad moments.
Alright. Casting the Tassiger. 4. Alright, I was going to say, I don't know why you're tapping your Water Grave here, Curtis.
Remand.
Yeah, so we were talking about Azusa earlier. I see this Remand gets me back on another great memory. Great memory. Whenever Amulet Titan was, a deck, unfortunately no longer with us.
Rest in peace. That deck was atrocious.
Sorry. It's still with us, just not as good.
Yeah, it's way worse.
Death Shadow getting bolted. Curtis, are you going to fetch to save your Death Shadow?
Time will tell.
It would appear as though he will. He's going to have to fetch and shock, though.
How sick would it be if he's like...
I'll respond and bolt it with your fetch.
Yeah, that's what he did. I was like about to say that, and then he just happened to be doing it. I said, well, you know what?
But anyway, so whenever I was playing the Amulet Titan deck, I could only get 3 of the 4 Summers packs needed, which it hurt. I finally eventually got it, but at first whenever I was playing, I only had 3, and I forget what my opponent played, but I knew they had a Remand in hand, and I was like, turn 3, I'm like, man, Azusa would be real sweet to draw here.
Yeah.
Draw Zeus off the top.
It was a Bedlam Reveler from his opening hand. Just wanted to say real quick. That is awesome. There was way more spice than Ryan told me. He led me to believe that there were only 3 spice cards, and Bedlam Reveler is a lot of spice, and I like it. That card is sweet.
So, we had I cast this Azusa knowing that it's going to get remanded. I know he's going to remand it. And... he remands it, and I had Summoning Trap in my hand.
Nice.
And since remand says counter it,
yeah,
it counters and then returns. So I got to Summoning Trap on turn 3 against him and get Primeval Titan because he remanded my Azusa.
Actually brutal. I played against someone who was playing Aetherworks Marvel in Modern, and he had Summoning Trap to help him do his shenanigans if his spells were being countered. I fell victim to it at one point, and I was like, well, looks like he got me.
Summoning Trap's real sweet.
It is a sweet magic card.
I have a set of them in case it ever becomes relevant.
I think it's one of those cards that has a shot, but then again, I have a whole slew, a list of cards where I'm like, this could be good at this point if this happens. It's one of my favorite things to do, actually, is to think about, if they do this would be sweet.
So one of the coolest interactions I've ever heard with summoning trap was at like Grand Prix Richmond a while ago, which was like the guy wanted to play like turn 2 kitchen finks. His opponent like romanced to his hand, and he's like, all right, summoning trap. Find Eternal Witness, buy back summoning trap, cast summoning trap. Find Restoration Angel, blink Eternal Witness, buy back summoning trap. Summoning trap, find Kiki Jiki, combo, kill you.
That sounds actually abysmal. So it looks like they're going to go to a game 3 with a whopping 2 minutes on the clock. Best of luck, gentlemen. Best of luck.
I'm going to go down and let them know they have 2 minutes.
Alright. I'll sit up here and
keep the chat entertained.
Keep the ball rolling.
Keep them boys.
Who them boys? Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. Modern's in this like perfect zen at the moment, and the only argument people have is that should Death Shadow be banned? And I for argument's sake, I could see both sides of the argument. I tend not to pick a side, and it's not like oppressive, so there's an argument there, but it's the fact that it's like due to its consistency and like how it affects the meta.
Because they won't have enough time.
Oh, so they're going to draw?
Yeah, they're just going to ID because
I was talking about the Grixis Death Shadow itself in Modern, and how like Modern's in a great state right now, but the only argument is how Death Shadow can be considered not oppressive, but in the sense that its consistency makes it a huge part of the meta, and it affects the meta overall, and how that could be an issue with Modern players. Personally, if I had to say, like, if I was like on a part of Wizards and like, do you ban it? I'd be like, no.
yeah.
I don't think, I think.
No, I'm gonna have to cut you off so we can get down there and get our round 2 set up. That's let's see. Okay, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.